We go to Fari Hamzei. He's the founder of Hamzei Analytics. He joins the show, bringing his wealth of knowledge and aggressive equity options and index
Sure.
future trading.
Oh, and we missed what he said. Joel was talking over. Did you open up with kneecap or did you open up with watch commander?
Guys, gotta pay attention. Come on, pay attention.
You missed the whole
this
thing.
This is the Navy sailor. I said shooter.
Oh, it's a whole new one. We missed the whole shooter. What? Okay,
what is a shooter now? Look, did we go back to DOD 101? Is this a class here? Jeez.
I assume they shoot the people.
No, please. Okay. Shooter is a guy in a little canopy above this deck that controls the catapults. He's a pilot himself. He's in charge of the launching off the catapults on the carrier.
Well, that's a shooter.
Sailor, you got to get with the program, Sailor.
I had it right. I said he's the guy that shoots the people, so he's shooting catapults.
No, we're not shooting catapults. We're launching F-18s on catapult 2 and 3 at the same time, Jack. Unbelievable.
I know.
See, that's something you won't happen in Detroit. That I can show you. Now, Detroit, you have a different type of a shooter. So, anyhow.
Yeah, you definitely have a different type.
Let's not go there. See,
I got the Detroit
okay, guys, what are we looking at today?
He's the guy with the gun.
No, Fari, this is just too entertaining. We got to stay on that. No, all kidding aside, Fari, let's go.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Broad market, okay. Woo. Had all those days of consolidation, 10, 15-point range, 5-6 days in a row, all-time high close, and then Tuesday morning, Street woke up and said, I don't like this. Took it down pretty hard, pretty violent sell-off here. Now we're 12 points off that low that we made yesterday, just kind of floating up here. Is it just that one-day correction and just going back up to new all-time highs? What are your charts? What are the Sigma channels telling you?
You're talking. You said. Did I hear you say bond market? We were talking about equities.
We're talking about the SPOOs, the equities. Yes.
The SPOOs. Okay. Bravo. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. This question about the Yellen put seems to be back over everybody's mind. We're at the low yesterday was -1 sigma-ish, more like 50 bar. Yeah, 50 bar was really touched. That -1 sigma, -1 was right below it. It's early to see what do you call it? To see the Yellen put in effect. The other part is day 2, right? Yeah, we had a small move. Now, last week, as you properly mentioned it, eloquently mentioned it, it was a very, very low range day, almost every day. Now we have explosion in the range yesterday, but it's still, even if you count Friday, yesterday would be day 2. So we usually see a 3-day, we have talked about this before, move down, especially if it's trying to hit a major sigma level, and that usually is a buy point. On my, given the environment we're in, look, the market needs some adjustments. We haven't seen it. And all the dip buyers keep on showing up almost at the same time, as if somebody sends them an email, No, it's incredible. Yeah, it's like there's a secret email over at the Temple, the Federal Reserve Board office building in downtown Washington. And the moment we hit 3 sigmas, boom, somebody hits the green button and just go on by. And they all come in like a herd. We didn't have, I like to see something like mid-October last year. Remember that? That was a reasonable cleanup. Not ideal. We still have a lot of work to do. But also, you got to have, I always bring up the issue, if we're going to go down, what's the catalyst? Or we're going to go up, what's the catalyst? Back then was a decent catalyst. We had a decent cleanup. And we had a decent rally, as indicated also by various indicators. I always tell people, trade the indicators, get paid by the price. There's nothing there. Right now, everything is flat. I mean, we kind of get a little bit uppy and a little bit downy, and then we'll go back to the center. Last night, McLaren Oscillator, for example, 106. Nothing fancy. Intraday was a little bit lower. We came back toward the end. We moved from 97, to 05. So that was the 8 points reversal toward the end. Let me cut this back. Sorry, this is giving me. I guess dollar index is rallying here, and gold is selling.
After all this question, so if you see the S&P futures and they're popping up 5 points here, and you think, sometimes things taking. I often say it's 2 days it takes out. You're saying as many as 3 days. You selling this pop here this morning?
Am I selling what?
Are you selling the pop in the S&P futures this morning? Are you fading this pop?
No, I'm not doing anything right now because first of all, volume isn't there. Early on yesterday we didn't have much volume either until it picked up, right? And right now it is getting set up. The OTF server right now says, probably at 2111, 2112 area, you might find a potentially, a little bit above here, potentially a nice fade to do. My thinking is slightly a bit even higher. I just see where the CIs are heading. It's a little bit hard to be ideal fade. Until then, we just had what we call a kiss versus a cross. Kiss is usually very accelerated move in terms of. I'm not saying the amplitude-wise. I'm talking about the slope. The slope gets much harder, and then I want to see if that happens. Then I could have a short-term pullback. I just don't see any big drop here. Again, what is the catalyst? I don't see anything out there. Well, short of maybe if Greece does something stupid, and assuming that has a big impact. That's one. The other one is exogenous news overseas. But we're not in earnings season. The economy, they're all debating what the GDP is supposed to be. Again, the market, the charts are fairly quiet. Look at how close signal channels are. Very quiet. Go ahead.
S&P futures, okay, you may not see a big drop there. We have seen a big drop in the airlines here. I think we asked you about these last week here as well. But just looking at the airlines here, I want to talk Sigmas here because these things are starting to get to a point where I feel they're almost oversold. What are your Sigma levels telling you on the airlines? Is
it name or ETF?
Any of them. They've all been hit, but you could go LUV, you could go American Airlines, AAL. But just curiously here, what are your Sigma channels telling you, and are we going to see a bounce here one of these days in the airlines? So go LUV.
Airlines, I'd say, what are we trading at, 36 now? 36.23, that's LUV. It's at below negative 2 Sigma. I'd say I'll be a buyer between 32 and 34.
So more pain.
Yeah, I think we're a little flush. We've got this first big push down on with the volume. Remember, volume confirms what's going on the 20th. That was a nice drop. Then we got 2 days of flat, then kind of flattish red. But yesterday, another nice one. Now we've kind of egress and get beyond negative 2 Sigma, but we haven't touched negative 3. We've got to get to that flush point. So I am going beyond that, saying, and the 3 Sigma right now is 34.40. Okay, but remember these numbers move as the data moves, right? So I'm looking forward, talking to you guys for possible trade. I'm saying, okay, make a line in your chart, 34 to 32. Between that area, I would nibble in at least first tranche. I would be a buyer down there.
Fari,
because it's below 50, it's below 200. Okay, it's gone through all the levels. Okay, so that should be a decent flow, and we've had decent volume here now. Yes, sir.
How's your UAL short working out?
Well, I gave that signal to everybody. I don't know who did it, who didn't, but let me go there.
Yeah.
I didn't take the trade myself.
When was it? When was it you went out to Montana? When was that?
The 9th. The 9th.
Look at that, Fari.
Yeah, so I came back that weekend. Yeah, so let's say the 11th I was back here, gave that signal. Maybe it was the 12th that I got back here. I forget. I'll tell you the calendar. Good point. Good memory, my friend. On the 9th was the graduation. Came back on the 12th. We got here. I issued a signal on the 13th, the Wednesday. I was really upset.
Yeah,
if you go to the 13th, which is the Wednesday, we were trading at 61 quarter was the close. It's 52. That's decent short.
I think that's one of your
if anybody took it, yeah.
One of your best calls
now,
there.
And the Sigma channels say you ought to be looking at buying this baby between 46 to almost 50. So cross this 50 is a good buy.
Okay,
We got another $2 to go.
we'll keep an eye on
Not that
that.
far.
How about the big dog in the S&Ps? You had Uncle Carl talking it up last week. Got some follow
Oh,
through.
Jesus.
Apple.
Yeah. 240. And you guys ran with that. Did you see how many RTs I got on that one? Holy mackerel. And all I was saying was law of large numbers. When you get that big, I mean, I don't know. Again, I have a lot of respect for Carl. He was on the board of trustees of Princeton. He's a smart cookie. He's done very well over the years. But some guys, I wonder what these guys smoke over there in Manhattan. $240? Are you kidding me? Why? What's the catalyst? Are they going to come up with another
Flying
gizmo?
car.
Yeah.
Flying car.
Here's the thing. The more Apple makes gizmos, the more I think of these are toy manufacturers. Except they're very, very super high tech toy manufacturers. And what does that do for you? What do you got? You got a fad. As long as you keep the fad up, you can do. They did it with the phone, but how many watches can you change? Can you have iWatch too? I don't think so.
But what if, and this is where they're going for here, and I rarely make bullish cases for Apple, but people are becoming much more health conscious. What if this watch, I mean, I guess it's like these Fitbits and these things, if this...
I have a Fitbit. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, what if this...
The Surge. I have the Surge. It's awesome.
Okay, so, if you can go into the health, I don't know what else this thing does, but, if you can if it can improve people's health, then, who knows? This may be a blockbuster product for the company. Going to 240, that's a little bit out of the question here, but they definitely need something new. Gene Munster threw in the towel on the Apple TV a couple weeks ago, so... We'll see what happens here. Yeah, I gave a lot back yesterday. But anyways, what are the Sigma channels telling you in Apple?
Okay, Sigma channel-wise, on the dailies we were near 0 sig, kind of neutral. We had the peak back there in April 27, 26, 28 area.
Earnings,
a little peak there. We still have not gotten over that. If you look at the weeklies, it's very steady rising, okay? It's your typical growth company, except when you look at the market cap. This is not a typical. This is a huge, huge company, and going up at a decent clip. So all the caveats will apply here. Right now, it tells me 145 is max on a weekly. Okay, that's what it shows. 144ish actually will be a max here on this leg until some other news comes in, so we can what we call repricing of the assets. You know how you get hit by a car, you have an accident? Okay, that's what happens to stocks. They get repriced. So until it gets repriced, 144 seems to me where the chart is tagging it. Aside from that, it's a great vehicle. Trade-wise, great vehicle. Look at how much liquidity you have in the options. Look, I haven't seen any. I've been around options a long time, as you guys know. Okay, I traded my first option contract in probably April or May of 1980. Okay, just simple call, covered calls. I've been around options a long time. I was a student of some of the key guys in option pricing, like Ed Thorpe and Geske and Whaley and so on and so forth. And I've worked here with a couple of key guys, like a couple of guys on the floor, like Alex Jacobson's in my book, or Admiral, where I learned so much as a reason I relocated to Chicago. I've never seen anything like Apple trade. I mean, forget VIX, forget SPRUs. Just the amount of the liquidity and total dollar premiums paid. Remember, we look at put call ratios on dollar weighted basis. So as such, we compute each value of each total dollars paid each day by expiry. Well, just add them up. It's as simple as an Excel sheet. Add them up vertically. Nobody's got liquidity. So it's a great trading vehicle. And I love these guys talking on both sides. One up, one down. It makes a two-way street. That's why the liquidity is there. So, and if you want to hit something, it's a huge part of a Qs now. So, it actually could be used as partially as a hedge tool. So,
all right, Fari, just a little update. Our Microsoft bat is kind of working my way a little bit slowly here. I have 45.
You mean I can't talk my book anymore?
You can talk your book, Fari.
Don't you want to know what we did?
What did you do in your book?
We covered gold and silver. We had call spreads. We had put spreads. We had long. I meant to say we were long put spreads in both silver and in gold. In gold, we did very, very well. In silver, I think some got filled, not all. Liquidity could be an issue, but they're in the money. But nobody wants to take the other side, and that's what silver is. I warned them. I said, guys, you should be more on the gold side, get more liquidity. Just simply as a 3-digit number, no activity there. Well, we did very well there, and because simply we were at one point we were too long. I said, guys, we're too long. We can't be here like this. Because I always look at our mix, how much, what kind of delta we have. I don't try to be delta neutral. No. I have a bias, but I wanted my total net delta of the portfolio for the option room to be somewhere in line with my thinking of what I see on the charts. And they were too long. We had a huge amount of long delta. So we put some short deltas on, which is putting put spreads on is a very, very nice vehicle. And I had no reason to get into any individual names because we're between earnings. So I said, I'll look at some ETFs. And we run something like 8, 9 ETFs, 10 ETFs on again, on an OTF server. So I went to your OTF server, and gold and silver were just yelling at me. And then one of our guys, which you guys interviewed recently, Piers Hendy, came and says, sir, we got to get into GLD. I said, okay, fine, let me take a look. And he does some options for put. He doesn't do necessarily anything esoteric, but he's got a good sense of the underlying, and that's the key part, X minus S. That's the biggest part of a Black-Scholes model. The input is X minus S. Where's the underlying, where underlying is going, which, and it dictates what strikes you should be choosing. So I opened that up, opened up my option house, which is a great graphics. I think I had option house for which I helped through, and it was under the name of the Trade Monsters, old Trade Monster graphics. I'd helped them to put it together, so I went there. I said, here's our pick. Boom, boom. Put it on the screen. Let's go. And this was, I think, about 8 days ago. I think it was before early last week. I think it was about a week. Yesterday we cleaned up. Boom. So that's my book.
Fari, we got some movers here in the pre-market. We still got to cover. Fari Hamzei, founder of Hamzei Analytics. He joins the show every Wednesday, bringing his wealth of knowledge on aggressive equity options and index futures trends. Thanks, Fari. Have a good week. We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Always a pleasure, sir. Take care.